Hey, OG Dr. Love from Infinity Loops here, and today you are going to learn wall taps. Real quick before we start talking about wall taps, I do want to put out there that this trick can be pretty difficult on your equipment, so do be sure to practice it plenty in the simulator before moving it to real life, just to try to save yourselves a little bit of headache. Okay, so let's get into what makes a wall tap a wall tap. I'm going to use my trusty insect book here to demonstrate. So what makes a wall tap is the part of your quad that is making contact with the wall. With a wall tap, we're always going to be making contact with the bottom of our quad. Any other part of the quad is not a wall tap, then it's just more of a crash. So how I like to break wall taps down is into three different parts. So you have the approach, you have the contact, and then you have the exit. Easiest way that I've found to practice wall taps when you're learning them is just a straight on approach, a straight up and down contact so that you're looking at the top of the wall, and a backwards exit. That way you can see everything that you're doing. It's not much stick command wise. It's very, very simple to learn. You're really just kind of figuring out when you have to pitch back, when you have to actually throw yourself into the wall. Okay, so like we've said before in previous whoop tutorials, the main thing that's going to make doing a wall tap with a whoop different than any other quad is the lack of momentum. So with a whoop, you really have to make sure you're coming into that wall with enough speed so that when you pitch backwards, it doesn't just stop you right in front of the wall. One way to avoid that is going in with a little bit more speed than you think you actually need, and then using your throttle to keep you from really bashing into the wall. That's something that's going to be a little bit easier to demonstrate once we're in the simulator and you can kind of see what my sticks are doing, but I just wanted to mention it real quick here. Once you have the basics of a wall tap down, there's a lot of fun ways that you can throw some variations into this trick, make it your own, make it unique. Some of the easier ways that you can start throwing a little bit of extra flair into your wall taps is when you're coming in for your approach, instead of pitching straight back and tapping the wall forwards, we're going to pitch straight back while yawing so that we're facing downward, and we're actually contacting the wall with our camera pointing down towards the ground, so that when we push away from the wall, we're going to pitch back, level out, and fly forwards away. That's one easy way. You'll see people do flips or rolls into the wall tap. You'll see them do a flip or roll after the contact. So there's just tons and tons of variations that you can throw into this to make it your own, to make it unique, to make it not feel stale. Okay, let's go ahead and hop into the simulator so we can see what some of these stick commands and movements look like put into practice. Alright, now that we're in Velocidrome, we have our Mobula 6 pulled up, and we're going to head right on over to this wall. And keep in mind what I was talking about before, that the easiest way to practice these is just straight up and down. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly straight towards the wall, we're going to pitch back while throttling up, touch the wall with the bottom of our whoops, and then pitch forward to come out of it. So you'll notice the times that I don't hit the wall perfectly flat, it kind of bounces me off in one direction or the other. That's one very important thing to keep in mind with wall taps, because the flatter you can hit the surface of the wall with your whoop, the easier it's going to be to come out of it. If you hit it at any kind of angle, especially if you have a frame where your battery might sit a little bit lower than the motor screws, then you're going to have a lot of problems with it bouncing off in different directions. It's going to be very difficult to come cleanly out of. But as long as you're hitting with the bottom flat surface of your whoop, you should be fine. Now you have the basic idea of how to do a wall tap down. Let's talk about some different ways that you can add your own flair to wall taps. So one of the easiest ways that I've found is just how you get into it. So instead of going up and tapping straight up and down, we're going to yaw 180 when we're parallel with the wall, so that when we tap it, our nose is going to be pointing towards the ground. So as you can see, it wasn't a perfectly flat tap, so it kind of threw me off a little bit, but you get the idea. Just flat, tap, nose down. And that's a simple way to add a little bit of uniqueness to your wall tap, so it's not just a straight up and down, bare bones maneuver. Another thing you can do is you can try adding some flips and rolls in and out of your wall taps. So there's a front flip into a nose up wall tap. Now let's try nose down, roll, and dive out. So there's just all kinds of different ways that you can add your own individual flair onto this trick just to make it unique. So now that we've seen a few different ways to do wall taps, let's go ahead and take it out in real life. I'm going to put a little freestyle line together and show you how you can throw some of these tricks into your next video.